Benito Mussolini's father had a political fascination and was an active anarchist. Young Benito's exposure to his father's political leanings aroused an interest in developing his own political views. In 1902, he temporarily moved to Switzerland to avoid being enlisted in the military, and in his spare time studied political ideas of the sociologist Pareto, the syndicalist Sorel, and another French syndicalist, Hubert Lagardelle, as well as others. He was especially fascinated by Sorel's ideas of the importance of overthrowing capitalism and liberal democracy, and his belief that direct action, violence, and general strike was an effective way to do so. He became an active member of the Socialist Party, and was later deported to Italy. After returning to Italy, he signed himself up for the military. Once back in Italy, Mussolini became a follower of the Marxian Socialist Party, and later became the Socialist Chamber of Labor Secretary in Trento. After 2 years, in 1910, Mussolini decided to come back to his home province in Forli to become editor of the newspaper Lotta di Classe. At this time, Mussolini was one of the country's most well-known socialists. He pushed for the expulsion of 2 Socialist Party members for supporting the Italian war against Libya, and was rewarded with the editor position of the socialist newspaper Avanti, translating to Forward in English. With Mussolini as the editor, circulation grew from 20,000 copies to about 100,000 copies. Mussolini was expelled from the Socialist Party after initiating and publishing his own newspaper, Il Popolo d'Italia, which was a direct opposition of the socialist newspaper's political views. Il Popolo d'Italia encouraged Italian involvement in wars, which was opposite the Socialist Party's belief. Mussolini soon became interested in establishing a stronger relationship with Hitler and the prevailing power of Nazi Germany in order to secure the progressing of the Italian military and security from the German military force. In 1938, he tolerated Hitler's annexing of Austria and signed the Munich Pact, representing Italy along with France, Britain, and Germany in 1938. This pact allowed Hitler to separate the German-speaking Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia into Germany, and Britain and France had hoped it would serve as an appeasement for Hitler. Increased Allied status with Nazi Germany led to the Pact of Steel on May 22, 1939.
Verfolgen das gleiche Ziel, auch auf dem Gebiet der Wirtschaftsautarkie. Ohne wirtschaftliche Unabhängigkeit ist die politische Unabhängigkeit einer Nation selbst in Frage gestellt und ein Volk von großer militärischer Kraft kann zum Opfer einer wirtschaftlichen Blockade werden. Wir haben diese Gefahr in ihrer ganzen Unmittelbarkeit zu spüren bekommen, als 52 in Genf versammelte Staaten die kriminellen Wirtschaftssanktionen gegen Italien beschlossen, jene Sanktionen, die mit aller Schärfe durchgeführt wurden, aber ihr Ziel nicht erreichten, ja, dem faschistischen Italien sogar Gelegenheit gaben, der Welt seine Widerstandskraft zu beweisen. Trotz allem Drängen hat Deutschland sich den Sanktionen nicht angeschlossen. Wir werden das niemals vergessen. Dies ist der Punkt, an dem zum ersten Mal ganz deutlich das Vorhandensein eines notwendigen Zusammengehens zwischen dem nationalsozialistischen Deutschland und dem faschistischen Italien in Erscheinung tritt. Der Faschismus hat seine Ethik, der er treu zu bleiben beabsichtigt. Und diese Ethik deckt sich mit meiner persönlichen Moral. Klar und offen reden. Und wenn man einen Freund hat, mit ihm zusammen diesen Sende marsieren.
On October 25th, 1940, Mussolini sent the Italian Air Corps to the Battle of Britain for 2 months to help out the German forces that were fighting there. Tension between the soon-to-be Allies and the Axis members rose and ultimately fell to war. On September 1939, France arranged a discussion over desired Italian colonies, but Mussolini ignored the French government's request. In June 1940, Mussolini declared war on France and Britain. Italy
Combattenti di terra, di mare, dell'aria, camicie nere della rivoluzione e delle legioni, uomini e donne d'Italia, dell'impero e del regno d'Albania, ascoltate! Un'ora segnata dal destino batte il cielo della nostra patria. L'ora delle decisioni irrevocabili. La dichiarazione di guerra è già stata consegnata agli ambasciatori. Agli ambasciatori di Gran Bretagna e di Francia.
He fought with Nazi Germany against France in the Battle of France. France surrendered within 11 days due to the overwhelming strength of the Axis powers. As a result, Italy gained control over Nice. In August 1940, British Somaliland was invaded by the Italians. On June 1941, Mussolini declared war on the Soviet Union and sent troops from the Italian army, and after Japanese forces bombed Pearl Harbor, Italy also declared war on the US. In 1942, the battle started to turn as Italian forces were defeated at El Alamein and forced to retreat to Tunisia. Italy was then finally apprehended by the Allied invasion and overwhelmed in the Tunisia campaign in 1942-43. Italy's eastern front of defense was also easily overcome when Sicily was invaded by the Allies. Mussolini's despotic control of Italy led to Italy's involvement in World War II as an Axis member, in addition to the casual loss of the liberal and fascist overseas empires, mass murder in Slovenia and other Balkan territories, and the death toll from the German Allied occupation of Italy. In addition, more than 100,000 Libyans died in concentration camps set up by the Italians. In 1943, after the Italian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Galeazzo Ciano, resigned after one too many disagreements with Mussolini. Following that later on July 24th, the majority of the Italian Fascist Council decided that Mussolini had gone far enough. It was agreed to sign a peace treaty with the Allies, who had taken over many regions of Italy recently, as Ciano had previously proposed. The following day, Mussolini was booted from office and placed under arrest by his replacement, Pietro Badoglio, formerly military commander-in-chief. April 9, 1945 marked the date of the execution of Mussolini and hanging of his corpse from a gas station in the Piazzale Loreto in Milan.